friends, family, subscribers to the YouTube channel, Adventuring with the S.G.O.C.C. Today, we're doing a video early because we're going to be preoccupied next Saturday, so we're going to do the video now. Whoa. Okay, can't do that with reading glasses. So today, we are going to clean some of the guns that we used last Saturday. I know, put it all in the comments. We should have cleaned them the day after. Okay, didn't have my leg brace, sleeve thing, compression, and my leg hurt really bad. Okay, so we're going to do it today. Now, this is not going to be an instructional video. This is not going to be a this is how you do it video. This is going to be a this is how we do it video. Okay? So, leave all your comments, leave all your pshaws and you should-haves and whatnot. This is how we do it. Okay?
This is how we do it.
There you go, Tim. So, we have a what I call a universal cleaning kit. It has everything. It has swabs, it has cottons, it has brushes, they're copper, these extension pieces, it has everything. So primarily, here is an AR-15 rifle. What you want to do is disassemble the upper from the lower. And
That's what happens when you get old. You make weird noises.
it's true. So to disassemble the upper from the lower, you've got these two pins. It disassembles the upper from the lower. You pull the pins out. Now you've got the lower and the upper. The upper assembly consists of the barrel assembly, the charging handle,
Gas tubes,
charging point, all this stuff on the top. The lower consists of the trigger mechanism, the magazine, and it all needs to be cleaned. None of it can be ignored. What is great about an AR-15 is the quick disassembly procedure. So the two things I use are good solid gun oil. There's people that swear you have to have a certain type of gun oil. It's got to be registered with the NRA. I use and I like Rem oil. It's from Remington. It really does work on all guns. You have to be a little careful when you use it on like laser etched stainless or steel, just to make sure you clean all the residual oil. Because here's the thing about gun oil. Whether it be WD-40 gun oil, whatever, oil attracts dust. You can see I've got two gun safes here. Tim's got a gun safe at his house. We keep them in safes, you know, closed up, very secure. But they're going to attract dust. We live in Arizona. You pretty much, if Tim were to go outside and do that, cloud of dust, because that's what happens. So you disassemble the gun. Okay, I like to do one half at a time, do it thoroughly, and then move on. So in this instance, I'm going to set aside the upper, take the lower, and I like taking one of the short rods and putting a swab on it. I've got to use I don't want to hear no belly aching. This is how we do it. Okay? With a universal kit, you've got lots of attachments. So making sure you have the right one at the right time and the right moment takes a minute to throw it together. Okay? So my first swab, cotton, little WD-40, because I'm not oiling the gun or necessarily cleaning it. What I am doing is getting all the large particulate matter out of the gun. This is what you want to do, because when you fire a weapon, gunpowder, all kinds of stuff gets in there. You want to take and you want to clean the magazine cavity completely. And I mean completely, all four sides. It's going to be a mess. Okay? Gunpowder, when you fire a shell, literally goes everywhere. Now I just put a cotton swab in here with some WD-40. I use these real good Bounty paper towels. They're cloth. They're really good at grabbing stuff. And to that end, that's just the magazine cavity. Okay, you can't clean a gun enough after you fire it. Powder goes everywhere, and powder expended is corrosive to steel. I don't care what brand of gun you have, the cavities, the places that powder gets into is literally everywhere. You can't have a place where powder's not going to go. It's just a matter of course. So after I clean the cavity area, and I try to be pretty good about it, I'll oil the gun afterwards. The second place that I clean is the trigger assembly. And I use WD-40 because it gets everywhere. And the WD in WD-40 stands for water displacement. That's a duh factor. You don't want water in your gun. I get down, I clean everything, get it way down in there. Basically it's a flat cotton swab is what I'm using. The goal is to get all these surfaces, all these flat surfaces, you want to clean them. Because powder went everywhere when I fired this gun. There's no way for it not to have gone everywhere. It just does. I also use, because I have big fat fingers, cotton swabs. They go where I can't. Get back down in there. You can see the spring assembly. I don't know if this will come across on video real well, but you can see in the trigger mechanism, you can see inside where all the springs are.
Let me see what that.
And the mechanism.
Flashlight.
I don't have a flashlight.
Yeah, you have an orange flashlight.
Yeah, it's in the back.
Oh. No, not at my eyes. No, I was going to show it
No.
this way, but...
All right, we're not going to be able to show it that well.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
But here's what you can see. You just saw me spray into the trigger mechanism. There on the trigger, back raw, there is oil coming through. Because oil, you want it to go everywhere that the powder went. And you can see, even that little bit of oil on the outside surface went everywhere. So we clean everything. We clean it well. And here is a place that a lot of people don't clean enough. This breech here on the back gets a tremendous amount of powder. That's just wiping it. You can't clean them enough, really. And if you want them to perform when you need them, you need to treat them right and clean them. It's just what you have to do. Okay?
Do you remember which one we had issues with where it wasn't feeding correctly?
Yeah, this is the one I use all the time. The one you used is the other one. It's in one of the other cases.
It's not this one then.
So that's the trigger assembly. You want to clean it real well, set it aside. Now I'm going to oil the whole gun at the same time. So I'm not going to oil that until I oil the whole gun. So I'm going to transfer my cotton swab. I know which one fits in a 223 or a 5.56 barrel. And it's that one. It's very tight, but trust me, it will fit. That's a high point carbine rifle. That's going to be... Watch your glasses now.
Where's that flat end?
Right here. That cleans a little different because that doesn't disassemble as easy.
Well, it should rotate out, right?
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's a smaller one I need. It is. Look at that. Big Papa was wrong.
Mm.
It happens.
Jesus, I can't get that thing to rotate out.
Well, you don't want to disassemble that one.
Oh, you don't?
No. That's I don't know the technical term between the two. This one is an upper and lower and separates. That one doesn't.
Oh.
So, like I did earlier, little shot of WD. Now, when I clean a gun, I go in from the breech end to the muzzle. I think the reason I do that is that's the way my father did it. I can't honestly remember. So as you push the cleaning cloth in, you'll feel the rod twist. That's because the rifling inside the barrel is forcing the cloth and your rod to turn, which is what you want. Now, this is all going to be filthy dirty because we ran, what did we run, Kim?
A couple.
Three or four mags through here.
Couple, three.
Yeah. So it's not going to be, there's, like I said earlier, there is no way you can fire a weapon, even 1 or 2 rounds, and it's not going to be filled with expended powder. It's just not going to happen. Now, when you're cleaning it, you hear that? That's the charging bolt. Ah, look how filthy that is. So you pull the bolt back, a little more lube, get back in there, and you can use several of these towels. I mean, you can never use enough, clean enough, or pull enough residual stuff out of your gun when you clean it. There's no way to hide any part inside a gun that's not going to be affected by a great deal of powder. And as I said, powder's corrosive. You don't want it in there. Make sure it all slides real well. Now, I've already cleaned it once by running the cloth pod through there. So I'll pull that out. And they have these really neat deals. Let's see if I can find the right size one. Yeah. It should be enough. So, as I said, I don't know the name for all these pieces. Well, looks like I'm getting low on swabs. These are actual gun cleaning cloths, not these pieces of paper towel that I use. Although Bounty towels make good swabs, they're not official.
The quicker picker ever.
So I take these out. These are very tacky. They're specifically designed.
They almost look like papers for
Rolling papers. Yeah. That's gonna be too big. Yeah, geez. Now, the difference between a 5.56 barrel and a 223 barrel is not that much. And the same can be said for a 223 round and a 22. That's why when these guns were first adopted by the military, and they are a civilian use gun first, remember that, the AR-15 came before the M16. And stop thinking that AR stands for assault rifle. It doesn't. That's an idiotic term.
There's no such thing as assault rifle.
A rifle is an inanimate object. It is incapable of action on its own, and the word assault is an action word. So now that we got that all settled.
And saying that, you know, having more than 10 rounds you don't need for hunting and
Other nonsense.
It's silly.
So, the oil is a lot thicker than the WD. The WD I use like a cleaning agent. When I oil a gun,
You know, I've realized that most anti-gun people aren't really anti-gun. Because
Yeah.
you're going to call an officer, and the officer is going to have what type of tool with him? A gun.
That's what it looks like after you've cleaned the barrel and you run a swab, an actual real swab. These are Remington swabs. I use a lot of Remington stuff when I clean. And that's gun oil. I use that to oil the gun and get the residual stuff out. You can see the difference between the stuff that's in there and the last time. So after I oil the barrel, I take a little more oil and a cotton swab, and I put a good amount of oil on the whole bolt assembly.
Oops. Just turn it upside down real quick. Or do that.
Because I want to be liberal with my oil. The oil is a lubricant. It's a preservative. It's not a cleaning agent. I know a lot of people think it is. It's not. It's this. You don't use gun oil to clean your guns. You use something that's a little more stringent, like water displacement number 40. You may know it on the shelf as WD-40. So I get in there pretty good. I use a cotton swab because it gets in there everywhere. And you got to move the assembly around. You can't just rely on gravity or anything else to push the oil through. You got to actually get in there. I mean, this is the mechanism that picks up the shell, puts it in the barrel, ejects it. This is not in constant motion, but it's not going to be happy if there's a bunch of junk in the way. So get in there, get the oil everywhere. You don't want to just pour oil into it like it's your car. You can tell, hear how positive that sounds? That's good. Okay, now the lower is all oiled. Now we're going to move back to our upper, or excuse me, the upper is all oiled. We're going to move back to our trigger assembly / lower. So a little bit of oil, another cotton swab, get in there. It's already been cleaned. This is a preservative. It keeps the metal parts nice and oiled up so moisture can't get in there. Keeps it so when you do need it and grab for it, it's going to be ready. You want to make sure the springs for the trigger assembly have a good amount of oil on them, but you don't want to just squeeze it in there like you're never going to see it again. You know, it's not a car. You're not throwing 40 weight in it, and you're not covering it with stuff. That's what you don't want to do. I put a few drops. I can get into the cavity of the magazine pretty easily. Few drops, get in there, get everything, swab it around, you know, like you're cleaning a dish and the wife is going to inspect your work. Do it well. Do it like, well, like your tool depended on it. Because, let's be honest, this is a tool. The better you care for your tool, the better it's going to perform when you need it. See, there's not any residual there. I'm happy with that. So then, you take your pins. Where did I put the pins?
They still on?
Oh, yeah, they are. Forward pin is where you lock the upper and lower together. I got mad respect for soldiers that went through the service and learned how to do this in the field. You know, mad respect. Tim, you want to put that in the gun safe? And let's move on to number 2. So, first one, all of our AR-15s, and we're not going to tell you how many we have because it's none of your damn business, are what we call non-binary. They will fire 5.56 or .223 rounds of ammunition. There's a reason for that, and I'm not going to tell you that either, because it's none of your business. This next gun coming up is, the next two guns coming up are chambered in 45. We have two of those. This one is the one that goes to your house, and the other one stays here. So this is a gun that is chambered in 45 ACP. We like 45 ACP over here because, well, it's just a good round. And this weapon allows us to throw a 45 ACP shell downrange a whole lot farther than normal. 45 pistol, a 1911, I don't care what it is, a 45 pistol, I'm going to leave that out because we got another one coming up, will throw accurately a 45 ACP round, a little bit bigger, will throw around accurately, especially under an aggressive moment. You can get a 45 round out of a handgun with accuracy up to 50 yards. I hear some people brag and say, "Oh, yeah, I can hit anything at 100 yards with a pistol." You're full of crap, or you're lying, or you've never done it. Honestly, a 45 round is heavy. It's made to do one thing. Tim, pull up that sign real quick. I'm going to show the folks something. So, this is a sign that we took out last time we went shooting. I'm going to illustrate for you. 5.56, 45 ACP. You're not throwing that out of a pistol accurately at 100 yards. Stop thinking you can. But with a carbine rifle, you damn sure can. That's the difference. That's why we have two 45 caliber ACP carbine rifles. Love them. They have what's called a shock stock. I just love everything about these guns. The high point firearm gets a lot of bad press, but here's the thing. You can throw this down in the dirt, cover it with sand, pee on it, rinse it off in the creek, throw a mag in it, pull back the charging handle, and guess what? It's going to fire every time, all the time, each time.
Well,
it's like the modern day AK-47. You can run this gun over, and it will fire. That's why I like it. And it is chambered in 45 ACP. I think you can also get this in 40 caliber and a couple other calibers. I personally like 45 ACP. Hit them hard, hit them slow. That's my motto.
oh, that's the one. Okay, that one didn't jam on me. It was the
It's the other AR-15.
Okay.
So these universal kits have a lot of brass. This is the one I use. That gets the big chunks out. Now this is a rifle that you do not disassemble. There's a reason for that. If you disassemble it, it's a great deal of effort to put it back together. So, having said that, no, not that one. Where's the... A little bit bigger, so what I'll do is I'll wrap it. So, as you can see, yeah, 45 ACP is around ballistically. It's not going to lend itself to the universal kit. Okay, we accept that. So, we've already run our brass through it. Now what we're going to do, and this is where you have to be a little bit creative. So I need more circumference on this pad. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut one of my bounty cloth, paper towels. There's a little trick to this so it works well. You get your cloth wet with WD-40, because remember, we're cleaning before we oil. Then you wrap your paper towel around it tightly, and I go in, tuck it once, and then come back around. Now what that does is it gives you more circumference on your cleaning pad. Then you just stuff her down there. Look at the breach. Whoop, there it is. And it comes back out. The reason you wrap it that way is because, as you can see, it stayed where I wanted it to stay. And it's filthy. But we expected that. So now you come to your breech. Again, you pull up your Q-tips, and I like Q-tips. My hands ain't as small as they used to be, nor as dexterous. Give me a break. I'm 61 years old, for crying out loud. Get in there with your nice and dexterous cotton swab. Get in there, and you want to get every one of those surfaces. You want to get the bolt assembly, the back of the bolt assembly. You really want to get in there, because like I said in the first part of this video, powder goes everywhere. And for the magazine cavity, even though it's a 45 and it takes the same magazine handguns do, I can still get in there fairly easy. And for what I need to do, small flathead screwdriver, push against the sides, the back, and if you push it around inside, it's going to do the cleaning for you. I don't know too many people that could stick their fingers in there. And it cleans it up not too bad. I like High Points because they're easy maintenance, they're durable as hell. A lot of people put them down, but that's okay. Leaves more guns for me. Feel free, Jim. Brass first. And then you want to give a little inspection on your gun. These stay in the safe, so they're pretty good shape. Sadly, most of the places that you have available for rent here in Cochise County and southeast Arizona have swamp coolers, like I have. The danger for swamp coolers is they put water in the air, not like Mr. Carrier's invention, which I really wish I had one of those. What Mr. Carrier's invention is air conditioning. Thank you, Mr. Carrier. What air conditioning does, it keeps your house cool without putting water in the air, which is what a swamp cooler does. Because swamp coolers put water in the air, they want to rust everything available. So when you put your firearms in a gun safe, even though it's in a gun safe, that gun safe is not completely sealed. Okay? You want to put silicone packs or silica packs inside your gun safe. They're specifically designed to capture any airborne water that is in the atmosphere that sweats out of using the swamp cooler. Whenever my gun safes are open, swamp cooler's off. I don't want water going in there. Here, use a smaller one. Tim has air conditioning in his house, so he doesn't have to worry about it. I don't. So some of our expensive guns are over at Tim's house, like our 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum in stainless steel, the 10-inch barreled revolver. That's in his safe. For a number of reasons, but also because we don't want it drowning in water. Oops. So once you clean everything and you're satisfied with it, then comes the oiling process. Now Tim's using that rod, so I'm going to go ahead and oil the trigger assembly and the firing mechanism Put a little oil in there. Just oil up everything, because remember, it's a preservative. You're not doing your 3,000 mile oil change on your car. You don't need a lot of oil in there. You're just preserving it and making sure the mechanism is free to move the next time you go to use your firearm. And that's it. Boom! Little shot of oil. Down the barrel hole. We'll be all set. We're gonna have to get some more of these Remington pads too. You know, it's funny, before Walmart became all woke, you used to be able to get these Remington kits, the oil, these little sheets, all of it at Walmart for pennies. I mean, literally, these packets of these were like $2.99. Fantastic. And let's remember, Remington's been around a long time. If you know the Remington name, they're a pretty solid company. The stuff they sell isn't garbage. So, a quick swab down the barrel. Call this one good. Let's see, which one is this one? It's the one that goes to your house. Honey, Cassie, could you go get one of those rifle cases? We're gonna send this home with you. Okay?
There's one on the floor.
What was there? Oh, look at that. Watch your glasses. So, a lot of people just like throwing their guns in the back seat. We don't. Law enforcement is very good with us. We like law enforcement. We keep them on our good side. We're not going to free carry rifles in the back seat of the car. That's just nonsense. So we use cases. These cases aren't all that expensive. They've got foam. They work well. And I think I paid $10, $12 for each one of these cases.
Well,
So, pretty happy with that. It's not, you know, the whole thing about this, the gun enthusiast hobby, is you don't have to go spend $10,000 every time you want to do something. That's a pistol. That didn't get fired, I don't think.
where's the one that, is it still in the case?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because we didn't have the,
Yeah, and we don't want to advertise that we have that one because of its configuration. Shh. So, yeah, I'm going to oil this one up real quick. So, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to enjoy this hobby. I don't think, and this is pre-COVID, I think I got these High Point 45 carbine rifles. I have 2 of them. I think I got these for like, I got one for $189 and the other one I paid $229 for. They're a good solid gun, reliable. I like them. I don't much care if anybody else doesn't. I do. And that's the whole thing about this hobby. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of models, calibers, configurations of firearms. Buy what you like. Go out with a friend. Shoot what he has. If you like it, great. Go buy one of your own. If you don't like it, find another one. One of the reasons we set up the shooting gallery in Cochise County is so that people can come out and shoot our guns without going out and buying one. If you like it, great. Let's go get you one. And I'd rather people were well versed and learned in a firearm because it makes them less dangerous. Remember, guns don't kill, idiots kill. And this one's ready to go too. That can go in the safe. only thing you got to watch for is what I call rapid unscheduled disassembly. And what that is well, having a mishap. Let's get rid of some of this garbage here. What you don't want to have happen is have your gun come apart on you, cause you injury, cause anybody else injury, and that's what we refer to as rapid unscheduled disassembly. It's really a thing. So we're going to change up some of these pieces. Which one's that?
Is that
That big boy?
Yeah.
That's going to require some special care and feeding. So one of the premier guns in our AR line, and I like the AR platform. My friend Don Schumer taught me a lot about ARs. Don Schumer was a writer for the firearms industry. He forgot more about firearms than I'll ever know. That's a fact. Don was fantastic. He actually knew Eugene Stoner, who is the designer of the Armalite 15 series rifle. Don had number 14 in the series in his possession at one time that he owned. He knew the guy who designed the Daytonics 1911 and had given me one in stainless steel before it was taken after his death from his apartment. Though I had keys to his apartment, I could have went and retrieved it. I felt that it would have been dishonest to go in his apartment without his permission or him being there, because he had lots of guns. He was just a fantastic guy. I missed the heck out of him. He was just a good dude. You run across some people in your life every now and again that are just good, genuine people. That was Don. He was just fantastic. I don't think in the 2.5 years that I was blessed to know him that he ever had a crossword for anybody for any reason or anything. He was just a genuinely good guy. And I'd give him rides to the store, to the post office, hung out with him. He had great advice. He's the one that talked me into starting the shooting gallery of Cochise County, because he felt, as I did, that it was a good idea whose time had come. And so we started it. Wish I had that Daytonics 1911 back, but my character and integrity is such that I will not compromise it for things, and I just won't do it. And going into his apartment would have been wrong. So that gun is gone to me. More's the pity. The people that went in there and cleaned all of Don's stuff out after he passed were told it was mine. They knew it, and they didn't care. Well, Tim, you want to grab that orange flashlight, please? We've got a situation here. Rapidly developing into not a good thing.
That's the one that had trouble
Yes.
cycling.
Yes, it did.
Why, what's going on?
See that Q-tip's missing something?
Yeah.
Well, it's down in the trigger mechanism. Now remember, if you can get your hands on it, it works.
You work on that half there. I'll work on this half.
Okay, I've already cleaned this gun, the barrel. So now we're going to run some oil down it. Now,
Where exactly did you drop it?
let me see.
Front or back?
Let me see. See this little hole right behind the trigger mechanism? It's down there.
You don't ask?
On the recording desk. Yeah, not too much dirt. That's kind of my benchmark. There's not too much dirt. It's oil. So. Hit it?
Yeah, I got it. But I do need a Q-tip to get in there and give her a good bath. Did you already? Yeah, there's plenty of stuff right here.
So, it's always more fun when you can hang out, you know, do your gun cleaning with somebody. Good conversations that have been had all over the place in the world in doing that very thing. I enjoy spending time with my brother and my niece. We do stuff on our channel all the time. We're shooting for every Saturday again. So far we're hitting that pretty good. Yesterday we did a really good video, in our opinion, at the Murray Springs Clovis site. We're doing this video on Sunday. Don't worry, it's after church. For a couple of reasons. One, we have something else planned next Saturday. And since we're trying to be consistent with the channel, a channel which, by the way, has 206 videos, we're trying to get a video out every Saturday. We've got a couple of big things in the works. There is a community here in Cochise County, down near Benson, called St. David. St. David was established before the Tucson Silver Strike. So it predates, or not Tucson, Tombstone. It predates Tombstone. It was established by a group of Mormons. And so we're going to get together and we're going to do a video that we hope to have some of the people from St. David who grew up there, because it's still a very large Mormon population town, and people there still live there that were related to the original homesteaders. Pretty cool. So we want to include that in our Cochise County history. We're not, we're not saying that any one group is more represented or less represented than another, but it's a part of history of Cochise County. Because of that, we're going to do a video on it. Cochise County is the Old West. I mean, this is where the cowboys were rustling cattle out of Mexico and other ranches. There's a lot going on here in Cochise County, and we want to let everybody know about it. We love this place. We really do. So we don't just do gun videos, shooting videos, cleaning gun videos. We do videos on all kinds of stuff. We did a video on Camp Naco with Professor Orozco some time ago. It's in our video history. You can go in there and check it out. Good, working a lot better. Here, it's ready for reassembly.
No, go ahead.
So, this last gun coming up, because last weekend we took all of our AR-15 platform guns out. And what did you do?
I put the safety back on.
Don't do that.
That way it keeps it down.
Sometimes they can be a little ticklish. We don't necessarily like ticklish. We like them to go back in. So, this next gun's got a story behind it. So, we got together with John from West End Pawn. This is just after Tim moved here some years ago. This one goes back in. Let's say.
2.5
And,
years ago. I think.
We were talking with John from West End Pawn and Gun. He was just starting to build guns. And we got to talking. I think it was during work time, but it might have been afterwards. So we started talking, and John asked me point blank, what would be my dream build for a rifle? And I already knew that because Dawn and I had had many conversations. No, it needs all three. But this one's done. This can go in safe, and we need to bring up the 10.
Well, you can.
So we're talking to John, and during this conversation, a few things happened. Tim offered up an interest in learning how to put together guns. John was looking for somebody. During the conversation extended, John asked me what my dream gun build would be. And because I had talked to Dawn about it a few times, that was an easy answer for me. A 6.5 Creedmoor with a 20-inch stainless barrel in an AR-10 platform, and doggone it, here it is. So how this gun got built was we were talking, which, you know, as you do, and
Can we try not to throw it at me?
yeah, it's heavy. That 20-inch stainless barrel is not light. So, couple, 6 weeks later, John calls me out of the blue, and he says, "Hey, your rifle's ready." And I'm like, "My who? My what?" Because I don't remember ordering a rifle. And he says, "Yeah, your gun, your 6.5 Creedmoor's ready." And I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't order a rifle. I didn't put a deposit on it. And he said, "Oh no, it's it's the one you said would be your dream gun." And I says, "Well, I can't afford to have that gun built. I can't even afford to buy that gun." And everyone I had looked at with a 20-inch stainless barrel, and this one has a suppressor or not a suppressor, it's a flash guard. Anyways, so John tells me that it's not going to cost me $2,000, which is what I had seen them going for, $21.99. This is a Moriarty Arms. They're out of Florida. It's a great rifle. And it turns out that my brother Tim, when working with John,
I was learning how to do the bottoms of ARs.
the lowers.
Lowers, bottoms.
well, a bottom is on a dancer. A rifle has a lower. So I get down there and I said, okay, I'll clean out the gun safe. I'll be right down. And I literally took every dollar I had, got down there, and John sold this gun to me for $1,000. And the more I read about 6.5 Creedmoors, the more I liked them. They have a flatter trajectory. They were originally designed as a long-range round for the military, coincidentally out of Fort Creedmoor. I think it's in New Jersey. And the more I looked into the gun, the more I liked it. The more I liked it, the more I wanted one. And here John built me one. So my friend Ed hooked me up with this 50 power scope that has windage, elevation. It's a fantastic scope. So we mounted the scope on it. I ordered a forward mount bipod assembly for it because the barrel assembly of this gun, this upper, is wildly heavy. I can't imagine packing this gun around out in the field in a combat situation. It would just be really, really difficult to do because it is heavy. It shoots incredibly far.
No, I mean, I can't find
one that fits it.
Oh.
You're gonna have to wrap it, I think.
No, I have to put
The adapter? Okay.
Oh, is there an adapter for it?
Yes, there's all kinds of stuff in there.
Because
that should go in. That should go right in there.
no, that does, but this doesn't go in here. It's too big. It's too fat.
Okay, well, there's one right there.
But then that's
one
too
right
small.
here.
Oh, maybe it's this one.
Yeah. So, first time I took this gun out was with my nephew, Matthew, and really no targets to shoot at that great distance that this is capable of shooting. So we aimed up on top of the hill, and there's a couple of guys from Fort Huachuca there, and they helped me sight in because we had one of our range scopes that we had with us, and we dialed it into what we estimated was a mile, and we dusted that area twice at that distance, and it still had more legs to go. So crazy, but the gun malfunctioned. The gas tube had pinched. The bolt and the charging assembly would not retract. It would not discharge the round. We didn't know if it was a live round or not, so we disassembled the gun as it is here. I took the upper assembly to John, and he dialed it in right quick, knew it was a gas tube. He replaced the gas tube, and it's been fine ever since. We just pushed 20 rounds through it last Saturday, and this thing is a beast. Because it's a very heavy upper and lower assembly with the 20-inch stainless barrel, the kick is less than a 45 ACP carbine rifle. It's really not bad at all. The gun is just sure. The sad part is the barrel assembly is so heavy you can't do a standing shot. You've got to be in a prone rest position or a prone position on the ground. The bipod helps, but you're just not gonna fire this gun from standing and be accurate. You might get one round off, but the fatigue of its weight is gonna weigh on you. That's just a sad fact. I love the rifle. It's worth a lot more than we paid for it, or I paid for it. And one of these days, we're going to be able to find a venue for the first annual Cochise County 1 mile shoot sponsored by the Shooting Gallery Cochise County. When that happens, we'll be able to find out exactly what kind of legs this has. It's not a fluted barrel, and in my opinion, fluted barrels take away a little weight, so they give a little more kick. Remember, ballistics wise, the more weight you have in your firearm, the less the ballistic recoil is going to be, because the weight of the rifle is going to soak up that recoil. And that's why a lot of composite guns, like composite 30-06s, 308 Win Mags that are composite stocks, the only real weight is the barrel assembly and the breech. If you want a gun that's going to have some weight to it, that's not going to recoil that bad, you want something with a walnut stock, like one of our, don't just throw it in there, it goes in here. Everything has a place, man. So you really got to be careful in the weapon you choose, what you want it to do. If you don't mind a lot of recoil, there's a lot. We've got a 30-06 Savage that has a walnut stock and a scope. It is a solid gun. Tim loves it. It's a nice, solid, heavy gun. We've also got a Ruger American 30-06 with a polymer stock that we have upgraded to be match grade, and it's a good, solid, accurate gun, but the recoil is dramatically more than the Savage. And they're both good guns. Ruger and Savage have been making big game rifles for a bazillion years. You want to put this together? What? For your drink? So I'm going to finish putting this together, finish the cleaning. The bolt assembly came out, so I got to put that back together. Thank you very much for watching this video on the care and feeding of your firearms. We encourage everybody, we're only 4 subscribers away from 200, which means that hopefully our current giveaway will be wrapped up by the time this video airs next Saturday. Thank you everyone for subscribing, your likes, your comments. We really appreciate it. Tim and I love history, we love guns, we grew up around them. We want to share that enthusiasm with everybody. And remember, more to follow, and this has been a Fun Brothers production.